sleep, deprivation, death. Top 3 ways in which sleep can cause you to die. Is that actually real? You might ask yourself, can bad sleep actually cause somebody to die? Well, the short answer, unfortunately, is yes. So, would you agree that the better informed you are about sleep deprivation, death, and the ways in which bad sleep can cause somebody to die? Would you agree that the better informed you are, the better you can protect yourself? Of course. So, in today's episode, my agenda is I have 3 things I want to accomplish. First, I want to share with you our next episode in the sleep series because it very closely relates to sleep deprivation, death. Second, I want to talk with you more about sleep deprivation, death, and how that causes hundreds of thousands of deaths every single year. What you don't know about sleep and how it can cause you bad health and death. It can hurt you. So I want to talk about that with you. And also, the third thing on the agenda for today, there is something exciting coming up. On December 23rd, I have a big surprise for you. So, you're already subscribed, or if you're not already subscribed, just subscribe down below and make sure that you hit the notification button as well so that you get notified as soon as December 23rd hits so you don't miss all the surprises I have installed for you. With that said, let's get started with today's episode. How does that sound? Sounds good? Fantastic! Let me just check. How do we begin? Yes. With an episode talking about death, we gotta begin with death. And today, Somnus, Hypnos, the god of sleep, he's on a death bed. I want you to imagine you and me are standing in a grand room, a grand bedroom with bright red carpets covering windows from bottom to floor, from the bottom of the floor to the ceiling, giant windows with giant curtains. There's a bright red carpet on the floor, and there is a giant king-sized bed in the center of the room with a man sleeping under the red and golden covers of the bed. That man is Hypnos, Somnus, the personification of sleep, and he is tired because 1 billion people are suffering bad sleep right now. And I want you to remember for just a moment. Can you remember the last time when you didn't have good sleep? Maybe it was several nights during the week where you couldn't sleep well, or maybe it was a full night, a full 8 hours where you couldn't sleep. Do you remember? How did you feel in the morning? How tired were you? How weak were you in the morning? Now, just for a moment, take that feeling and I want you to multiply it by 1,000, and then by 1,000 more, and then by 1,000 more. Well, that is how Somnus, the king of sleep, is feeling right now because 1 billion people around the world, due to what our wisest did in our last episode, 1 billion people around the world are suffering bad sleep, and Somnus, the king of sleep, he's feeling the pain, the tiredness, the weakness of each and every single one of them. And as a result, he's on a bed. He looks like he's dying. And next to his bed, you can see 2 figures, 2 people. On his left, you can imagine Dream, his son Dream. Imagine him as a 7-year-old boy with a bright orange hair and lots of freckles on his head, and he's standing beside his father's bed. He's looking very worried at his father. On the other side of the bed, a man in a big black coat is also looking at Somnus. He has his cloak is covering his feet so you cannot see them. It's covering also the hood of his cloak, is covering his face so you cannot see his face either. This is Phobos, the king of nightmares. And he's also a son of Somnus, and he's also looking at his dad, lying on the bed, dying. So both kids looking at their father, and you can hear now Dream asking his dad, "Dad, who caused you this? What happened?" And Somnus, all he would say was one word: Oasis. And in that moment they knew, okay, we gotta go to Oasis. And then they disappeared. Now, I want you to imagine you and me go into the world of Oasis, the bringer of bad sleep and insomnia. There is a grey mist all around us, in all directions, left to right and up and down. And in that mist, pop, with two pops, Dream and Nightmare appear before Oasis, the queen bringer of insomnia. Dream and Nightmare stood next to each other facing Oasis. And as they did, from beneath the cowl of Nightmare, you could hear the voice of Nightmare addressing Oasis. And he, Phobos, Nightmare, said, "Oasis, what did you do to our father? How, said Dream, also chiming in. How did you put our father on a deathbed? That is pretty impressive. How did you do that?" And Oasis, oh! She will tell them exactly how she put their father, Somnus, on a deathbed. And she's also gonna tell them how to fix this, what to do in order to get their father back with his energy and power and excitement about life, which we'll also talk about in just a few minutes, about you and how sleep might cause you to put you on a deathbed, or somebody that you care about on a deathbed, so that you are better informed about the dangers associated with sleep. So Oasis is telling all these good things, but Dream, he's smart. He says, okay, but what do you want in return? And Oasis said, oh, I'm so glad you asked that. And she asked each of them for something. Phobos, the king of nightmare, he asked her, "So, what do you want from us?" "From you," Oasis told him. She asked for a journal of time. I want you to imagine there was a journal, and in that journal, whatever time, whatever place, imagine you wrote a date and you wrote a time in history. And as soon as you wrote them, you went to that place and that time. Well, that is the journal that Oasis is asking for. "Why would you want that journal?" asked Nightmare. "Doesn't matter why." "Why?" asked Oasis. "So that I don't kill your father," she told him. Then Dream said, "Well, what do you want from me?" "From you," she said, "I simply want the Journal of Fables." Now imagine a second journal, and imagine writing the name of a fable, Red Riding Hood, or The Princess and the Pea, or Sleeping Beauty, and you were instantly transported to that world, to that fable. What do you want that journal for? Asked Dream. So that I don't kill your father, said Oasis. Dream said, okay. No, he didn't say okay. No, that's way too easy. Dream looked at Nightmare and he said, I have a bad feeling about this. Nightmare said, I don't believe you. First, tell us how to get our father back up, and then we'll give you our journals. And Oasis, she told them the story about Aaron, which we talked about last episode. She told them about how she put Aaron in bad sleep and insomnia, and how doing that caused him to put the world in a no Wi-Fi zone, which caused people to don't sleep. And that, as a result, caused Somnus to get on a deathbed because he feels the pain, the insomnia of everybody in the world. And Oasis finished this. And by the way, if you haven't watched episode 18, I definitely recommend watching that one. There we talk about something that's going on inside the brain that if you have it, it keeps you awake at night. It keeps your insomnia. Even if you get a night or two of good sleep here and there, it will find a way to bring you back to insomnia if it's running inside your brain. And we also talked about how to install an antivirus program in your brain against that virus so that you're better protected and you can have a better sleep at night. So if you haven't watched that episode, definitely just go back and watch episode 18 in the sleep series. Now, I see, said Dream excitedly. So all we need to do is simply bring Wi-Fi back to people, back to the world, and people will start sleeping again. And as soon as people start sleeping well again, our father will get up from the bed. Is that correct? Oasis said, that is exactly correct. And now I would like your sleep journals, please. Nightmare, he took out from beneath his cowl a black journal and he handed it to Oasis. Then Oasis looked at Dream, and Dream slowly from the back of his jeans pocket, he took out a small journal. He handed it to Oasis as well. Oasis took them and she started laughing. Think of the most evil laugh that you could think of. And that is exactly what you are hearing right now here from Oasis. The most evil, most sinister laugh. She took one of the journals, she opened it up quickly, she wrote up very, very quickly a date and a time, and then she was gone. Where did Oasis went to? Why was she laughing so sinister? Well, tune in our next episode and you'll find out. Now, before I give you a preview of the next episode and what's coming up about all those surprises that I mentioned, well, let's talk about sleep deprivation and the three ways in which it can cause death. Alright, so the first way bad sleep can cause death is car accidents. Every single year in the US alone, there's 100,000 car crashes that happen, and anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 people die simply because they don't get sleep or enough sleep at night. The second cause for death, and this is a huge one, medical errors. Each year there's In the US alone, 100,000 deaths caused by medical errors, caused by doctors not getting enough sleep. With nurses alone, they did this research recently with 1,100 nurses, and they found that over 30% of nurses have chronic insomnia, and 5% of those nurses have what was the name of it? Let me just make sure I have it correctly. 5% of nurses have extreme insomnia. Extreme insomnia meaning they sleep less than 5 hours a night. So they not only sleep so less, but during when they are performing at their job, they are very tired. They can fall asleep, and in other words, if you get one of those 5 out of 100 nurses who have extreme insomnia, they can cause somebody, they can cause medical error, they can make your situation medical worse, or they can cause death as well. And the third way in which bad sleep can cause death for somebody, let's adjust things here. It's associated with health. So bad sleep every single year, and I wrote this because it is insane. Bad health caused by bad sleep costs the US government $15 billion a year. That is huge. That is more, to put it in perspective, that is more than what 4,000 PhD doctors make in a lifetime. That's what causes the US government in health costs caused by insomnia in a year alone. Why? Well, because insomnia, it causes cardiovascular diseases, it causes heart diseases, it causes mental illnesses like depression. And one of the big things here for me is when people talk about health, what do they typically talk about? They talk, well, you gotta exercise and eat a green apple a day and you're gonna keep the doctor away. But nobody talks about bad sleep and how, hey, you can eat 10 apples a day, you can eat 20 apples a day, but if you don't sleep at night, are you gonna be healthy? No, of course not. In fact, recent researchers have found that people who sleep less than 5 hours a night, they are 2 to 3 times more likely to have an early heart attack. That is why you hear of people, he was 35 years old and he had a heart attack. How did it happen? Nobody expected it. Well, very often it's caused by bad sleep. So, listen, if you take one thing out of today's episode, take this. If you are somebody like me who values your health, work on your sleep. Protect your sleep like you would protect yourself or another person who you care about the most. If you are a parent, protect your sleep like you would protect your child. All right? That's the big one. And how do you do that? Well, I can give you 2 ways in which I can recommend you do that. One, well, simply watch the episodes inside this channel. That's what this channel is about, how to bulletproof your sleep so that your health is better protected as well. So have a look around if this is your first time inside the channel. And also, the other way, if you just want the how-to, the manual, well, what are the big things that I can do to make sure my sleep is protected so that my health is protected and I don't suffer an early death? If you just want that, look down in the description. I have found 3 ways, 3 things that when we work at them, the more we do, the more our sleep becomes better and better protected. So if you wanna learn what these are, check out the description. I'll write something there for you. And that is it for today. Now, coming up next, when we're wrapping up things right before Christmas, we have something exciting, and a very exciting thing. One of the things I have coming up is a question we're gonna ask. The question for next time is this. I want you to think right now of the person that you respect the most, the person that you admire the most in your life, a mentor. Maybe it is somebody who is alive, maybe it is somebody who is already dead, but someone from history. Who is the person, who is your biggest mentor? Now I want you to imagine that your mentor had insomnia or bad sleep, and as a result of that, he wasn't that powerful, that energetic, magnetic man that you knew, but instead he was weak and small and powerless. Do you think he would have been as famous as he is today? Do you think he would be doing the things that inspired you? And more importantly, where would you be? Would you have the same inspiration that you have today to do the things that you want to do? Would you be in a better place than you're at right now, or at a worse place? Well, some of those questions we're gonna talk about tomorrow. So that, I think, is going to be very interesting. And also, big things coming up. A big surprise I have for you on December 23rd for the upcoming 2020. So definitely make sure you tune in. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, you're still here. Well, we ended the episode actually, so this is it. This is the end. There's no more surprises. There's no more anything happening going on. So right now you gotta just go on with your day. What are you gonna do with your day today, actually? Let me ask you. Do you have some plans? I wasn't planning, for example, to have this conversation one-on-one with you right now, but hey, I wanted to check in. How are you? How have you been? You're doing good? Wow. Well, now I'm gonna stop this recording because I wanna upload this online and make sure it is right there for you very soon. So I have my finger up right now and I'm pressing the stop button, and bye.